Hello, I'm Hugh Hall. I'm the principal at Fife College. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us at our virtual open day. Here at Fife College, we offer 400 courses over 40 different subject areas that provide the essential skills to fuel the Fife economy and provide opportunities for individuals and business to succeed. We offer a wide range of opportunities from vocational training and apprenticeship schemes to professional qualifications and even degree options. We've got some fantastic facilities here, state-of-the-art digital technology, studios, in-house theatre facilities and so on. But, you know, most of all, it's our amazing lecturing and other staff here at Fife College who make the experience of coming to Fife College so wonderful. In the last student satisfaction survey, we scored an amazing 95%, and that's from former students, and that tells you a lot about us here at Fife College. And Fife College is an integral part of the local communities in Fife, linking into individual schools, businesses, and so on. And those links with businesses are very, very important to us. Because, you know, that is about future employability, and many people come to college with that aim in mind. And those links to business are amazing help to you as a student here. And of course, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, but I just want to reassure you that we are very much open for business here at Fife College. We deliver our learning in a blended way, online as well as on campus, and arrangements are put in place now for a phased return back to college life. So please be reassured that when signing up to Fife College, you will get the full student experience. So anyway, enough from me. Enjoy the rest of today's session, and we look forward to welcoming you to Fife College very, very soon. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Fife College Virtual Open Days. My name's Craig Walker and I'm going to be your host. I work for the Fife College Students Association, joined today by some colleagues from the college's digital team who are working backstage to bring this very live event to you. Don't worry, we are all socially distanced and following all health and safety regulations. Today, we are focusing on creative industries. Across the week, there will be 4 separate sessions. In each session, you'll see some short films, have a live presentation from faculty staff, presentations from support staff, and a live Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, please do ask them now in the sidebar. We'll try and get to them. Any that we miss, the answers will be posted on the website after the event. Now, in this session, as I said, we are focusing on creative industries. I'm going to start with a welcome video from the Director of Creative Industries, Dougie McMillan. Take it away, Dougie.
Hi there, welcome along to Fife College. I'm Dougie McMillan, I'm Head of Creative Industries within the college, and I'm so glad you've chosen to come and study with us. No matter what you're studying or which campus you're on at Fife College, you'll be using first-class facilities. Throughout your studies at Fife College, staff and support systems will be in place to ensure you have the best learning experience possible. When you work in the creative industries, you work with many different people. When you come to college, you're going to meet new people and you're going to work in project-based learning. And in fact, we're really interested in how you want to learn. So you tell us. I'm so glad that you've chosen to come and study at the creative industries. And everyone in Fife College will ensure that you have the best learning experience possible. So welcome on board.
Thanks, Dougie. Now we are joined by faculty staff, Sarah Halliwell and Gillian Dobre from Creative Industries, who are here to talk through the courses and career options that are available in the area. Sarah and Gillian.
Hi everyone, welcome. It's a really strange thing to be sitting here talking to you virtually. Normally I can see the whites of your eyes in the audience when I'm talking to you. But as Craig said, I'm Sarah Halliwell, I'm Academic Head of Creative Industries, and this is Gillian Dobry, my colleague who works in Computing and Digital Technologies, which is a department of our Creative Industry faculty. The creative industries is an exciting, varied and expanding sector with a wide range of career opportunities. Fife College will provide you with the very best learning opportunities, staff and facilities. We ask you to give your very best so you can achieve all you can during your time with us. And in this new normal, which is remote learning and teaching, Fife College is very much open for business as usual, and we look forward to supporting you to select the course of your choice. My faculty consists of the following departments: hairdressing, beauty, makeup, technical theatre, performing arts, that's acting and performance as well as musical theatre. We have youth theatre to 200 children across Fife every day of the week, and we cover dance and art and design, as well as fashion, jewellery, sports, fitness, media, radio and computing, digital technologies and games development. Now try saying that a few times. In fact, if you've ever seen the film Star Wars and watched the credits for 15 minutes, then those are the jobs that we're training you for. We provide live project briefs throughout all our curriculum areas for you to learn on the job. And there may be work placements across the year where you can develop essential skills such as working in a team and solving problems. Obviously, going forward in this new normal world, post-COVID-19, we comply with social distancing measures as your health and safety is paramount, and experiential learning will be scheduled into your timetable and academic calendar accordingly. We've been really busy putting together online learning and teaching resources to help support your learning and assessment, and we look forward to helping you achieve your course in a variety of different ways, both online, face-to-face, and across exhibitions, workshops, festivals, and other public or online events, obviously always bearing in mind health and safety and social distancing regulations. Your journey to an exciting career in the creative industries starts right here. We have a student portal called My Fife, and some information on the course handbooks that you'll be sent will be useful straight away, and some will be useful later in the course. Please take time to read all your way through the handbook and keep it for the course of your studies with us. Your lecturers who are teaching you throughout the course are all industrial experts in their area of speciality. And if you have any questions about anything you've been studying or about your assessments, then the lecturing staff are the first people that you need to talk to. All our staff have working experience in the subjects they teach, and they're passionate about passing on their knowledge and experience in the creative industry. Now, can I answer you any questions on the curriculum side of things? We are ready and waiting to take your questions for creative industries, and we look forward to meeting you very soon in the new academic year, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Sarah and Gillian. I don't think we have many questions in just now, but Sarah and Gillian are going to be joining us later in the Q&A session. So if you do have any, don't be shy. You can post them anonymously, get them into the sidebar, ask all the questions you want. Again, if we can't answer any today, we will put it up on the website. So, as I said, Sarah and Gillian are going to be joining us in the studio later, so we can change over safely. We're just going to have a short video from my colleague Jade, who's going to introduce Fife College Students Association to you. Over to you, Jade.
Hi guys, my name's Jade. I am one of your presidents with the Fife College Students Association, that's FCSA for short. So once you become a student at Fife College, you're automatically enrolled in the Students Association. So you have complete access to help and support from us. If you just want to take part in our fun events such as Freshers, or you want to raise awareness for a cause that you support, we can help you do that. If you want to take part in sports or set up a team, we've got all of those things on hand as well, and we can give you any help and support that you need for your learning and lots of other different bits and bobs of advice for your life. So yeah, we're the Students Association and we welcome you to Fife College.
welcome to the studio Jules from Inclusion and Donna from Guidance. Also, thank you to Jade. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So Jules and Donna are going to provide an overview of all the different areas of student support they can expect at Fife College, including guidance, inclusion and student funding. So, over to you.
Hi, my name's Jules. I'm the lead advisor for inclusion here at Fife College. I'm here today to give you an overview of who Inclusion are and what we can do to help you in your college journey. So who are Inclusion? Here at Fife College, we believe that everyone is entitled to take part in learning and realise their own potential. If there's anything which could get in the way of your ability to learn or participate in college, or you find you're encountering a problem with learning, a good starting point is to come to the Inclusion team. The team is full of ideas to make learning a reality. We want to work with you to develop your skills, confidence, motivation, independence and expertise in learning. We realise that every student is different and we'll do what we can to make the college accessible and inclusive to all. The team can work with you to identify suitable strategies to support your learning and provide the right support to meet your needs. The Inclusion team has support for learning centres on every campus where students can drop in for study skills, advice, or attend for regular one-to-one or shared support sessions. We've also got student advisors on every campus that can provide mentoring, and we've got inclusion assistants that can support you in classes if you've had that support previously. So what sort of support can Inclusion provide for our students? Well, first of all, we help and develop and review personal learning support plans, which allows adjustments to be made so that you can take part in your learning. To get a personal learning support plan, you would make an appointment with one of the advisors. We would sit down and discuss your specific needs with you and then develop a plan in partnership with you that would assist you to maintain your college journey. We can demonstrate how technology can be used in classes and at home. We've got a wide range of assistive technology. Now, we understand that technology is the future and technology does make life easier. So we have a range of different things available that would support you to be able to access your classes. We can provide a sign language interpreter if that's something that is required. We can provide study materials in an alternative format. Now that might mean making it on coloured paper or providing bigger text or putting things into Braille. We can provide support in class and for assessments when required. For example, if you had a reader or scribe when you were at school for assessments, we can put that support in place if it is still required at college. We can help organise your workload, prioritise tasks and develop essay writing strategies. We can loan specialist equipment out, for example, ergonomic keyboards, specialist mice or hearing equipment, hearing loops. And we also help with DSA funding applications for students. Now, if you're doing a course HNC level or above, you may be entitled to disabled students allowance. In order to get a needs assessment for that, you would contact one of the student advisors. We would then do a needs assessment with you and see if we can provide any specialist equipment. Now, if you feel you benefit from speaking to a member of the Inclusion team, you can email learning@fife.ac.uk or just call the college and ask to be put through to us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Donna and I'm a guidance advisor at the Holbeath campus in Dunfermline. I'd like to begin with just telling you a little bit about myself. Not so long ago, I was a student at Fife College. As a single parent, I decided to enrol in a construction course, learning the practical skills in areas such as painting, joinery and general building. Then I decided to change career. I studied social care and I also volunteered in various local organisations. My chosen courses provided me the knowledge and transferable skills to help people change their lives for the better. So just to explain, students have different reasons for coming to the college. For many, it may be to explore an academic field of interest, others as an advantage in the job market, while some students may wish to meet people from different backgrounds but with similar interests. So regardless of the reason, Guidance are here to advise and support you throughout your journey at Fife College. Guidance work across all campuses to offer confidential support with personal matters, financial concerns, course issues and anything else that may arise. We'll spend time with students to find practical solutions or signposts to someone who can help. We offer appointments every day on every campus. They can be either face-to-face, telephone or via email. We also work closely with lecturers to offer workshops in class, delivering activities and events throughout the year on a variety of topics such as SAS and UCAS applications. We also provide class presentations discussing and highlighting a range of issues within health and wellbeing. The guidance team have a close working relationship with young carers and care experienced students, and working with other organisations to provide information and support, as well as making referrals. The guidance staff regularly work with our lecturers in the college and key teams in the college to support vulnerable students and those experiencing difficulties. Guidance staff also have safeguarding responsibility, and they will follow up with any students who may have been highlighted as a cause for concern. We work closely with attendance advisors, student funding, and also the inclusion team, ensuring we provide the best support to our students. There is a counselling service available within the college, and referrals are made via the guidance appointment. As I mentioned, guidance staff work with attendance advisors. Their role is to monitor and contact students when their attendance is falling below certain levels. The attendance advisors can engage with students to discuss any attendance issues that they may have been experiencing, working alongside academic staff to ensure that the best support possible is on offer. Now, in regards to student funding, I know that's quite a bit of topic just now on the teams and the questions that are coming in. So regarding funding for students, all further education students, so those individuals enrolled in courses up to including a level 6, for example, hires, are required to complete a student funding application form. The guidance are able to offer support here. Concerning the funding application forms, please note that these are not yet available. However, student funding will hope to be in contact with students at the end of July and will update the college website and any social media accordingly. So concerning the funding, you can apply for bursary or EMA. EMA is for students under age 18 at the start date of the course. So the college can also look to help with travel costs, childcare and accommodation costs. If you're unsure about the evidence that's needed to complete your funding form, or if you have any issues getting any of the required evidence, you can contact our student funding team for further information. Now, their email address is studentfunding@fife.ac.uk. Now, SAS students, that is individuals enrolled in a level 7 or above course, which is like HNC, HND, they can apply for tuition fees and any bursaries or loans for living costs where eligible. Now, that's on the SAS website, which is open now. SAS students can then also apply to Fife College for help with rent or childcare if eligible. Now, I'd just like to finalise by informing you of the diversity of students that we have at Fife College. For example, we have students in their 80s studying photography full-time. We've got young people that are studying secondary school, studying within the college, helping them to prepare for their future career. More recently, we've had a gentleman in his 70s studying beauty. Now, that course actually enabled him and gave him the necessary skills to look after his wife. She'd been recently diagnosed with dementia, lost those skills, and he was there to offer support. So let's say you can see the diversity of different ages and different abilities and skills that you can learn. So on behalf of myself and the rest of the guidance team, thanks for listening. We look forward to welcoming you to Fife College, so please feel free to get in touch. We're also available throughout the summer break and love to hear from you. So you can email guidance@fife.ac.uk. Thank you.
So Donna, if somebody was going to have a guidance appointment, what would they expect the format to be like?
Okay, they would, let's say it can either be email or they can be a phone appointment, so they can phone in our customer services. And appointments are whichever campus is closest to them. The appointments are either a 20-minute appointment or a 40-minute. So it'd be with whatever a guidance advisor is on duty that day. They would come in, report into reception at the campus, and then there's a designated room which is confidential. We would go in and share some information. Normally, if it's myself that I've got a guidance appointment in, I would look at what interests the person has, maybe what job history they've had, what any qualifications, and where they're looking to, what are they actually hoping to achieve? Because everyone is looking for something different out of college. So I'd cover that background first. Recently I had a gentleman in that he wasn't sure what he wished to do, and then we went down and he said I wanted to do counselling. We worked out, and then he said nope, that's out of the equation. So we kind of narrowed it down, and he found out that he loved volunteering and it was cookery, it was the course for him. But before that it was sign language, and he just wanted to know where his benefits were. If they're requiring extra support, I'll maybe go down and say, well, while you were at school, did you actually get support there? Was there a classroom assistant? If that is the case, then I would move on from there and probably come down to, well, I would come down to the supported programmes or support within inclusion team at Hobbies. So it would be you guys that would take it from there.
Yeah, so when a student comes to us after being referred from guidance, we would discuss your individual needs, as I said previously. A lot of people have support when they're in education previously or when they're in school. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the right support for them at college, because the courses are different and the structure of the courses are different for assessment. So we would take on board your previous history in education, the difficulties you have, and then we'd speak to yourself and your lecturers to see what the best plan is for moving forward. The personal learning support plans, as I mentioned earlier, are devised in partnership with yourself. These are reviewed constantly. As your skills develop, the support needs change. As your course develops, the support needs change. So although you may have had support in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's set in stone and stuck forever. We do want you to become independent and successful learners, and that does mean developing your skills and strategies in order to do this on your own.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. That was awkward. Thank you very much, Jules and Donna. Now, in the next session, we're going to go on to the Q&A. Jules is going to stay. Sarah and Gillian are going to come back in. Donna's going to leave us for just now. While we're doing that, I'm going to answer a few of you are asking, obviously, about the effects of the coronavirus and lockdown and what is happening there. So we've been asked, will the college be open and when will classes start? So yes, the college will be open and it is safe to do so. We will be following all the Scottish Government guidelines on how to safely return. We're expecting that all full-time courses will commence week starting the 31st of August. Now, there will be a blend of online and in-person events and teaching. You will receive full details of that in the near future, and we will confirm your exact start date then. Great. So Sarah and Gillian are back in the studio. Just going to throw over them so they can give you some more information on courses within the Creative Industries section.
Hi, so Creative Industries is a generic term, and our faculty is divided into 3 different departments. We have expressive and visual arts, we have sports and media, and we have computing and digital technologies. So I'll talk about expressive and visual arts first. That's EVA for short, and expressive arts tend to be the arts that you express yourselves in. So that tends to be drama. And we start at level 5, similar to school, so your level 5, national 5, and we take that right up to our HND level, and then we have 2-year top-up arrangements in most of the degree programmes across Scotland for studying drama, acting and performance. About 80% of our graduates will go into university to study a degree, and 20% of our applicants will then go into the creative industry field and facilitate drama workshops, or some will go into drama teaching, some will become actors, directors, writing scripts for television, and of course that is a booming industry at the moment with Outlander and all of the Scottish film industry that's been taking off recently. Any of you who watch Game of Thrones or Netflix and all of that stuff. So that's the expressive arts. We also deliver higher drama and higher dance as part-time infill classes. And we also have musical theatre, which I've mentioned. And within that is a very specialist niche called technical theatre, who manage the lighting and the sound and digital projection for rock concerts, anything from the O2 Arena down to the Adam Smith Theatre in Kirkcaldy. And they stage manage events and theatre productions, as well as working for film and media increasingly. So technical theatre, expressive arts, and then we have the visual arts, which involve hairdressing, which starts again at entry level, and you can study and become a modern apprentice and work within the salon industry. The same with the beauty therapy. Again, we can start at in entry level and go straight up into becoming a qualified hairdresser, qualified beautician, working in the industry, and then makeup artistry. And increasingly we're finding our makeup artists are being used as makeup artists in the film industry or in the television sector. Looking at expressive and visual arts, we're looking at developing all of that into linking more with the games development that we also do. So we're looking at beginning to start the journey of technologies with console games and actors being avatars, working with green screen, special effects. And the makeup artists also work with wigs and prosthetics and all of the casualty makeup. We also have art and design, which again can start at level 4 and work up to degree level. We have excellent articulation routes into university. We have jewellery, which starts at level 6 up to degree level as well. HND year 1, year 2, then on to university. And then we have fashion, which again starts at level 5 and can take you right up into a degree in articulation route. And increasingly for fashion, we're looking at fashion and textile articulation routes and increasing them both south of the border and north of the border. So those are all very robust articulation routes. Then we have sports and media. Sports and fitness, again, can be at entry level, level 4, 5, up to HN1, HN2, and then also into either careers, typically coaching and sport activities, facilitating gym memberships and working on personal trainers, that type of programme. And then media, increasingly we're seeing a breakaway from traditional journalism, but perhaps looking at film critique or within the film industry, looking at communication and media and script writing, filming, television, small screen. We're looking at radio provision and radio plays, as well as working in radio. And again, we have excellent articulation routes and employment opportunities. All of the expressive and visual arts every year take part in a number of experiential learning work placements, and we also have the innovation at the fire station for next year, which is planned in Dunfermline, and the Fife College Festival, which would be based in the Rothes Halls in Glenrothes. So that's me expressed, sort of expressive visual arts, EVA, and then sports and media. And just to also mention that we run an academy model so that children as young as 8 can come and work with us to start building up a portfolio. Because one of the things we find when we're going around schools or we're talking to the public is there's a real lack of awareness of creative industries and what that actually is and what does it look like. So the answer I'll give you today is that basically everything you've done during lockdown, so all of the Netflix, the radio, the podcasts, anything, any virtual exhibitions, all of the leisure time activities that you've been doing, or when you're not working, or when you're starting to get bored, or the direction that you've pointed your children in when you're trying to do homeschooling, all of that embraces the creative industries and how we work in that industry. So I'm going to hand over to Gillian because she needs to talk about computing and digital technologies and give you a little bit background on that. But the academy model also refers to coding club, YouTube club, and building up the knowledge of the Internet of Things, etc. So Gillian, can you tell us a wee bit more about your area?
Can do. So computing and technologies has a whole range of technology-based courses, basically from level 4 right through to degree level. NC level is generally quite generic courses, which means that we have a little bit of everything in them to give you a little taste of what careers you can have in computing and technologies. So our NC courses might cover little bits about computer hardware, computer networking, computer programming, different languages, depending on what level that you study at, some multimedia, web design, some cybersecurity, a little bit of everything really in there. So it's just to give you a taste of the different computing areas and then find out what you enjoy, what you're good at and what you might want to pursue as a career. In the technology side, a similar kind of idea, but more focused towards computer gaming, mobile apps and web apps. So obviously they're intertwined. There's a lot of programming in there, but a lot of sort of creative stuff as well. So if you're not necessarily technically minded, you're quite creative, then you can also take part in the computer games. It's not about playing games, as much I always emphasise, but the NCs are quite varied and give you a lot of experience in the different areas to prepare you for an HN programme if you decide to stay on, or to get an apprentice job somewhere in industry. Our HN programmes are varied, but again they're quite specialised this time. So from software development, which is computer programming, we have technical support, computer networking, cyber security, got computer games, web design, that's not the proper title, I've forgotten the title of it, mobile apps, I do apologise, I can't remember the name of it. But there are various HM programmes for each of the NCs to progress onto and develop your knowledge in that specialist area. And thereafter, obviously, there's a networking degree within the college, which is you work alongside ABRT, but we do have articulation into lots of different degrees in different areas. Most of the programmes you can infer to, so if you're working and you want to just study part-time, or maybe there's just one particular element of the course that you want to study, then you can join in as an infill student. There are some evening classes that we do offer for the technical side, and I think that's about most of the courses that we offer. But any questions that you have that you think might be of interest to you, please just ask in the chat area, and hopefully we'll be able to give you some more information as to how you can go about getting into that course. Okay.
Thank you, Gillian. One of the things that I'm really conscious of with the computing and digital side is that we're preparing people to work in industries that haven't actually started yet. So there is a job that I'm fascinated about, which is the Scrum Master, which sounds like it's rugby or something to do with sports, and it's actually a facilitator for digital technology thinkers to brainstorm ideas to produce a piece of software or an app. And those careers can start at £45,000 upwards. So the thing I would like to highlight about especially computing and digital technologies is that we are preparing people to work in industries that haven't developed yet. So what do? We have to build problem solving skills, employability, how to work in a team, how to problem solve, how to be innovative, how to design as well as think and work in a very systematic technology-based process.
Yeah.
And one of the things that strikes me, especially about your area, is the amount of maths that's needed. Mm-hmm. And that's something that doesn't really compute a lot of the time, excuse the pun, with potential applicants. So is there anything you would like to say to try, if someone who was interested out there, a pupil or a school teacher or a parent who doesn't know anything like me about software development or hardware development, could you just put it in layman's terms a wee bit?
Well, definitely. I mean, if you're interested in computer games or programming of any kind, coding is a really difficult, it's one of the most difficult computing sort of subjects I think you would partake in. And it's one of those things, either love it or hate it. But if you do want to go down the coding route, as Sarah says, you definitely need to be good at maths. And that's not numeracy, that's completely different. Okay, so you're really speaking about NAP 5 is where you obviously want to start, and then higher, and then obviously further on it gets harder as you go up the scale. But they definitely go hand in hand, the maths and the programming. So if you want to be a gamer, a programmer for computer games, or develop any other type of application using computer programming, then maths is going to be in there. And most degrees, especially, they'll ask you for maths of a really high standard. So it's definitely something to think about if you want to go down that route for a career.
And that is one of the things that we're constantly reiterating, and that's another reason why we started the academy model, so that we could bring in the 8-year-olds who maybe are just learning coding at primary school, and we're developing their knowledge and their skill base to start almost getting them young and home grow them to get them into the mainstream curriculum once they're at that point in school as a destination for them to leave and come into. So they're building up relationships with our lecturing staff, they're building up an awareness of what the industry actually needs at a young age, and then they're able to make those choices when they get into high school to make sure they're making the relevant choices. So we had a group of first years before lockdown come to visit, and they were very much of the hands went up about they all wanted to do gaming and games development. And I said, that's fine. But then you need to think about maths, you need to think about art and design, and you need to think about script writing, because those are all of the skills that you need in order to produce a console game. And then the hands went down and they started to think a little bit more clearly about what their destination would be in order to do that. And as Gillian correctly said, it's not about playing the games, it's about designing and making the games and the process behind that. So I think within creative industries, quite often, we're very much the ones at the forefront, but what people don't appreciate is all the hard work and the hard graft that's behind the scenes within these skilled employment levels. So thank you very much for your input, and I think we're going back to Craig now to maybe answer some of your questions for curriculum. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That was a very professional link. We're getting better. Okay, so lots of you have asked questions now, which is great. We've got about 25 minutes, so we'll try and get through as many of these as we can. Please do remember, if your question isn't answered in the next 25 minutes, it will be put onto the website and we will supply an answer for you. Okay, so firstly, probably for Gillian. Hi, I'm moving on to computing and IT level 6 this year. A lot of my work on level 5 was done from home as a result of the lockdown, but fortunately it was quite manageable. Is it likely that some classes can still be done from home going forward?
Definitely. Initially, when we start, obviously, I think it's the 31st of August is the first week of classes. So in the first couple of weeks, everything will be online for us. But within the third week, we're hoping to introduce part-time in the classroom. Obviously, we're working on the plans for that at the moment, but there will maybe be in 1 day a week for the FE, which is NC level students, and then from the October break thereafter, introducing the chains. But we're quite lucky, I suppose, in computing and digital technologies that we can do a lot of our courses and the work online. We may have to adjust some delivery, but essentially a lot of it is quite easily adapted to do it online. And as I say, in the main, most of the course will be done like that in the initial weeks. But hopefully over the summer we'll get more information and things could change, and you know, goalposts change all the time, as everybody knows. So that's the plan at the moment.
Great, thank you very much. Next, will makeup, hairdressing and beauty students be able to do assessments on models again or not? With social distancing measures, how manageable will our classes actually be?
Well, I have spent this morning going round the campuses with health and safety and the exec, looking at our numbers on a 2-metre distancing ratio, and we're very much taking our key from the industry. So obviously you'll know with the Scottish Government guidelines that hairdressing salons, beautician salons will be hopefully starting to open up over the summer going forward, and obviously they will be putting into place industrial specs of how they're going to work. So we will follow suit, but we've worked on a 2-metre distance rule at the moment with regards to our campus provision, and we understand that in the majority of creative industries that's experiential learning, so you do need clients, you do need heads to cut hair, and we are hoping to do that in a phased return and in a safe way, so that our students first and foremost can sit their assessments, because that's really essential. And obviously we'll be prioritising those students who need to complete in order to get back into their careers and get into the salons in order to earn a living. And then we'll be doing a phased return with other students to make sure that they're not disadvantaged in any way according to the current social distancing measures that we've had to take during lockdown. So there will be some delivery will be online for the theoretical elements, but we are hoping to welcome everybody back for experiential learning in a safe way as soon as it's possible to do so. So in answer to your question, yes, they will be coming back and working with clients, but under Scottish Government guidelines.
Great. Next question. How many films will we produce in HNC screen production, and will there also be a placement?
As many as you wish. And practice makes perfect would be my answer. I can't go into specific assessment criteria because I don't know would be the simple answer, but I do know that the screen students produce at least 2 or 3 films which they exhibit throughout the year. And we're planning on taking the best and making that a virtual event towards the end of the academic year. but I have seen students making films of everything before lockdown. So we're talking about theatre productions as well as their own productions. And in fact, in my induction, online induction sway that I've put together, which will go into your Teams pages, I've actually included one of our screen qualifications students' work, if that makes sense. So they've actually provided the film as part of our induction event, and I saw 5, they're on YouTube. If you look at Fife College Screen Students, you'll find YouTube clips of student films that they've already produced this year. It's a relatively new qualification, so I think we're going into our 2nd year of HN. I can give you the details of individual lecturing staff that you could then contact for specific information like that, if that would help.
Great, thank you very much. We've had a question in about when will timetables be available. I can answer this one because I've got the FAQs here. So we are working to get these out as soon as we can. When they are sent to you, the college will strive not to make any changes. However, if government advice changes, that may need to be changed. Okay. Next, I would like to be an actor and I'm in high school. So how could you help me be better and widen my contacts?
Right. I'm an actor also. Therefore, my advice would be get into a youth theatre as soon as you can. The youth theatre within the college starts at 3 years old. So I don't know what age you are, but if you're still at school, I'm assuming you're not 3. If you are 14 or 15, certainly do as much amateur work as possible. We do have agents come into our youth theatre and we have casted before. We have some students from youth theatre that have gone off to do Harry Potter and all sorts of extra work. But I would advise you, first of all, to stay on at school and get as many qualifications as you can. Build up your amateur experience in youth theatre or amateur dramatic companies. Try and get the quadruple threat. So you're now talking about dance, the ability to act, the ability to sing, the ability to dance, and also the ability to play a musical instrument. It's a quadruple threat now for any audition into conservatoire or any university. We start at level 5 for acting and performance, so we do get 4th or 5th years leaving school and coming in to study full time. And then we have had actors with us for 5 years, going through level 6, HN1, HN2, and then into either Napier University, Queen Margaret University, University West of Scotland, and increasingly Cumbria or down to London for the southern universities and conservatoires. So I hope that helps. But remember, as an actor, you have to be able to deal with critique and criticism and work with others, and that 80% of the time when you go for an audition you're rejected. So it's always good to have as many qualifications you have and as much work experience and to make yourself multi-skilled.
Might also end up hosting live virtual open days. That's exciting. Okay, another question has come in. What are the arrangements for induction? There will be inductions. They will take place between the 21st and 28th of August. These will be fully online via Microsoft Teams. You will receive details of that through emails, including full support. You won't be on every day between the 21st and 28th. It'll just be a slot between then. Okay, next question. If doing art and design, what will happen with the art packs if we are still in lockdown? Will it just be whatever you have or what will happen?
No, every art and design student that we have, we provide a student kit for. So the student kit is made up of paints, brushes, sketchbooks, I think 4 or 5 sketchbooks of different sizes off the top of my head, charcoal and pastels. So we spend around about £80 to £100 per student on their student kit. We would be grateful if you could provide an art portfolio case because you may want to carry back and forth to different campuses. And we are developing much more online art and design because that reflects the industries that artists are going into. But if you've got your own kit, that's brilliant. You don't have to buy anything specific, but it would be good for you to do as much work as you possibly can at home in preparation for your course. And the art lecturing staff have been very creative in the way that they're interacting with their students. So you may be expected to upload or send evidence of any work that you've been doing at home in your artist's workshop or jewellery workshop. specifically. But every one of our creative industry students does have a student kit that they can be provided with the basic level of equipment we would expect you to use.
Thank you. Can we get more details on how the blended learning will work?
Well, blended learning, funny enough, in creative industries has always worked because we've always embraced blended learning. For the simple fact of, if you're doing a production as an actor, you have to involve technical theatre, which is lighting, sound, set design, costume, makeup, hair, choreographers, directors. So the way that we plan our creative industry activity is that we run on projects. So the project has the blended learning within it. So there's no real difference from that perspective for us. Even within art and design or sports or media or radio, everything relies on the experiential learning of the student within the projects, and we blend all the assessment learning outcomes into those projects. So really we're planning to continue the way we always have done. If we're talking about online learning as well as practical activity, and that's the blended learning you're talking about, then that again, we plan to be doing front-loading the theoretical elements of everything. So for example, for an actor for voice, there's anatomy and physiology. For hair and beauty, there's anatomy and physiology. So that will be put online for the theoretical learning. And then in a safe environment, we'll bring people back to work experientially, as I've already answered, with the salons, with the hairdressers or the beauticians, in order to start honing the practical skills. I think computing and digital technologies are going more towards the blended learning than probably historically. Is there anything you would want to say?
Yeah, I mean, historically, we haven't done a lot of that, as you say, but we are trying to go down that route. Since lockdown, we've obviously looked at things, integration a lot more with different units, and looking at evidence from one unit to another, and instead of so there's not a lot of repetition for students. So we are looking at that model because there are, as Sarah says, in different areas of creative industries already doing that model. So we are trying to. It's a lot of work to do that, and we've done quite a lot of work in that area since lockdown. So we're hoping to continue with that next year. Although the downside of that is, I should say at this point, is historically we've always said that you don't need to have a PC at home to do any of our courses because everything's in the classroom. So there is going to be a bit of questions, I'm sure, from people who maybe don't have the right technical equipment at home, and that is something that we're aware of and something that we are addressing. We don't have full solutions to that yet, but it's definitely something that we're looking into to provide students who may not have, a decent PC or a decent laptop at home, because tablets and mobile phones are just not going to cut it for our types of technical courses. So that element of it is something that we're looking at and hopefully we'll have addressed for starting in September.
And I think we're going down the line of, again, looking at it as a student kit, yes, because some of the computing and digital technology students have to have quite advanced software available to them. So again, that will be done on an individual basis.
Thank you. That was the next question I was going to ask, so I'll find a different one. I've applied for and been successful setting up SAS for my second year of HND software development. When and how will I apply to the college funding for funding help with living costs?
I think maybe that's a seed question.
The student funding team are working behind the scenes at the moment, and the funding packs will be going out at some point, as Donna said earlier, towards the end of summer. If you've applied for SAS for your fees and bursary, that's great, but it will just be a case of we have to wait until the funding packs come out before we can look at additional funding.
Great. When do you find out if you have been accepted onto your course that you've applied for?
Within a 2-week window, my understanding is. I think we've got cover in over the summer holidays to make decisions on applications, and I would like it sooner, so I normally would say within 5 days. I think the maximum turnaround is 2 weeks in order to reply to an applicant.
Great. Will we still get funding from the college if we don't qualify for SAS?
I think that again is a seed question.
Yeah, it depends on why the student or individual didn't qualify for SAS. For specific cases, if you have any questions regarding your circumstances, I would email the student funding team and they'll be able to answer on an individual basis, because that's quite hard to answer as a generic answer.
Will there be any pre-course reading or a materials list stroke things we need before the course starts, specifically for the BA Honours Creative Enterprise?
Oh, I'm so glad we've got a question about the creative industry degree that's brand new, hot off the press. We've actually just finished a process where the course handbook for every specific course has been put together, and there'll be a link to that in the student portal that comes out to all our successful candidates in application. So that information about specific reading lists and maybe some preparation work would be within the course handbook. We're also doing an online 6-week induction. So again, that can be provided online, and we're setting that up over the summer holidays in order to support you when you come back into the start of the new academic year. But I'm going to take a note of that to make sure that that course handbook has been put together, which is my understanding, and that the reading list, etc., has been put in to that student portal. So it should be there. It's been done.
Great. Thank you very much. I think that's all the time we have for questions and answers.
I could have sat here all afternoon.
Sorry, we've got other sessions to do. So yeah, I hope you have found that very informative and helpful. Remember, we did have a lot of questions. They will all be answered on the website, so keep an eye on there over the coming days. Just like to say thanks to Jules, Sarah, Gillian and Donna for helping to host today. We're going to finish with a short video showing you how nice it is to study at Fife College. You've got to say live. How nice it is to study at Fife College. You can live here if you want. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
It's a big decision, isn't it? Where do I go? Which path's right for me? Maybe it's simple, and your degree journey starts right here. Fife College offers over 400 courses across 40 specialist subject areas. We're driven by a vision of success, and we are the route to the qualification that's right for you. So why travel further for the same result? Fife College, your degree, your journey starts here.